Hey gang, Spade of the Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at G Gundam Shining Gundam. This is one of the 8-inch figures that was released when the series came out, and I got this guy off of eBay for about 25 bucks. A pretty good deal, actually, considering figures of this size for this line are going for $50 to $100 a piece. That's not a bad deal. So this is packaging that it came in, and it was originally around $10 to $15. So I really didn't overpay for a figure that's almost 10 years old. It's still in box. So let's get him out of the box and take a look at what's inside. Here we have the Shining Gundam out of packaging, and the Shining Gundam comes with a couple of accessories. First, it comes with two small beam swords that are undeployed, which can be stored in the left hip. It comes with a Corelander. It comes with the two beam sabers deployed. Unfortunately, they are the wrong color. And it comes with a shining finger hand, which some assembly required. So the unit itself is not that bad looking. I'm pretty happy with it. There are a few minor issues that I have with it. One, the head isn't completely accurate, but I can deal with that. That's not that big of a deal. And the shoulder panels, the shoulder plastic, is supposed to have some panel liner, some texture to it, but it doesn't. And again, not a huge deal. Totally can look past that. The one issue I do have is that it does have some gold flake problems, which we'll get into when I talk about the super mode here in a second. Posability-wise, the figure is pretty good for a figure of this size. It doesn't have any torso movement, unfortunately. Head is on a ball joint, and as you can see, you can get some good posability out of that. Shoulders are on a swivel joint in the upper shoulder, and then a ball joint after that. Then a swivel joint at the upper or lower arm, and a 90-degree bend at the elbow, and a slight ball joint in the wrist. Legs are really limited by the side skirts and the front skirts. They do open up, but not all the way, and the back skirt and the side skirt actually doesn't move at all. Knee is on actually, that's a pretty good bend for the knee. And then the foot is on a limited ball joint. So overall, you can get some decent poses. However, the joints in the upper hips are a little loose, and I think that's just due to the age of the figure. And it is a little top-heavy. And there's a specific reason for that, which we'll get into when I talk about the super mode again. Overall, though, it's not that bad. Thankfully, I didn't have to do any panel lining on the figure. All the black paneling you see here came with the figure. This was unopened until I opened it, and that was very nice. I appreciate the detailing there. So that tells me that this figure is an earlier figure compared to the other ones. Corelander is nice, good detailing of the Corelander, and unfortunately it doesn't have the gimmick of the cockpit flipping up, and again, I will get into that in a little bit. So you just plug it in the back, and it works fine. It has a tendency to fall off, but oh well. And speaking of falling off, these side bits on the ankles really do not like to stay on the figure. They just have a tendency to fall off completely. The other issue I have, and I haven't mentioned it yet, is these armor bits on the feet don't move. So that nearly completely prevents you from moving the figure forward, which is a big shame. Now, as I said, the beam swords or beam katanas are the wrong color. They should be pink, not green. You can fix that with some clear coat paint, but why bother? It's fine. My bigger concern, however, is the fact that this is not a colored hand. This is just a normal hand, and it's supposed to be the shining finger attack, but it's just a plain hand. It's not the color that it's supposed to be for the attack. Again, you can fix it with paint, but you shouldn't have to. So, speaking of the attack, he can go into his super mode. For all those who don't know, the Shining Gundam has a super mode. We'll start by sliding the feet forward like that, coming down to the legs and folding out these panels to expose gold pieces, coming to the arms, the forearms, and lifting up these panels like that. And then for the shoulders, we slide them up to reveal the superheated bits. Then we look at the legs and we fold these ankle pieces down. And finally for the head, well, you can't move these bits in and out. So we'll detach the Corlander and pull the head back, and oh hey, there's another head back in here. And getting this spun around is a pain in the butt because there's not enough clearance. And you really can't pull it up without fear of breaking something. So as you can see, new head. And then we can pull the hand off, put the shining hand on for Shining Finger, or his Shining Finger sword attack. And for a little $10 figure in the US market, this is pretty good. I think this is as close as we are going to get to completely show accurate. Now, I was talking about the gold flake. Well, no, it didn't do it this time, but the gold under here is flaking off completely. I don't know if you saw when I pulled this bit up, but the gold is flaking off, and you can kind of see the gold flake right there. It's really hard to see, but whoops, sorry. It really is hard to see, but it is coming off, and it is flaking off badly. Again, there's nothing I can do about that. That just has to do with the age of the finger and figure. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to get all worked up over it. That's just something that happens with the figures from the 90s. So overall, this is a pretty darn good representation of the Shining Gundam. For just a $10, $20 figure here in the US, this is pretty darn good. Now, I would strongly recommend looking for the 1/100 version of the model of the figure, or picking up the master grade version of the figure. Both master grade and 1/100 versions of the Shining Gundam are readily available everywhere. And I'm sorry, apparently I have to do something, or that was a reminder. Anyway, so this is a pretty darn close approximation, and I think this is the best we're going to get here in America, but if you really, really want to go full-on Gundam, Shining Gundam, I would strongly recommend picking up the 1/100 or the Master Grade. This isn't bad, but it's not nearly as good as either of those two.